Hello folks, and welcome to the video. This time around we're going to talk about, as the title probably suggests, my laptop, or rather the laptop that I used to have. The one I'm currently using is an old one, the first laptop I ever had, which is frankly junk. It's not a good laptop. It can't run anything. It's only meant for browsing the internet. My previous laptop was a beast. Sometimes I wouldn't give it credit for that, and I would be frustrated with it, but it truly was a beast for its time. And thing is, it kicked the bucket. It kicked the bucket on the 22nd of July of 2018, and the problem seems to be motherboard related. That's the conclusion I kind of came to. Although I'm no authority on this matter, I don't really have much of I don't really have much expertise there, but what little expertise I have does lead me to that conclusion. A family friend who kinda looked into the matter, and I told him the symptoms and all that, also told me it's probably a motherboard issue. Effectively, the problem is, I press the startup button, it starts up like great. The problem is, the screen is black. The screen is just complete pitch black, nothing, right? Complete nothing. But like the sounds it makes, and everything else, when it starts up, are literally the same. So there seems to be a problem with the screen. There's a problem with a few other things too. The keyboard had become unresponsive since the start of July. So for 2-3 weeks, the 2 to 3 weeks that I had it in July, from the time the keyboard went unresponsive to the time the screen went unresponsive, to the time the screen went pitch black, I had to use the on-screen keyboard, and it rendered a lot of the games I used to play unplayable, because you have to use the keys of the keyboard. So I had to use the on-screen keyboard to do any browsing or anything like that using my mouse. I would just press the keys on the screen. The name kind of suggests what the on-screen keyboard is, for those of you who don't know. And it would just, show me the characters. I could still play a few games that required a lot of, clicking with the mouse stuff, and, didn't require a lot of key pressing, and, I could do everything using the mouse and the interface of the game. But most games were effectively rendered unplayable in that period. I still had the laptop at least, I still had my memories in it, I still had my files and all that. And those things hold great value to me. I have things of very sentimental value in that laptop that I would love to recover. Good news is I looked into hard drive recovery. It's possible, but it might cost me a shit ton. If this family relative doesn't know how to do it, I would have to shell out a lot of cash for me to be able to get those files back. When I say a lot of cash, I mean a lot of cash. I mean the price of another laptop, probably. Or at least half the price of a new laptop. Good thing is, this family friend, this relative, he's not a family friend, will be able to give me a laptop. He will be able to find me one, and all he has to know is what I will use it for. So I'll just, my father told me this. So I'm like, well, okay, I'll tell him a gaming laptop, and my father was like, okay, yeah, sure, tell him, and I'm sure he'll be able to find you something. And I'm like, look, if I'm gonna find something, I need something recent, right? I'm talking technology of 2015, 2016 at the very fucking least. Something that can run recent games, because I'm not look, this old laptop, even if I could restore this issue, fix it magically, right? If it would take money for me to fix it, I wouldn't fix the issue. If I can fix it without money, if this member of my family can come here and fix it without me needing to spend a fucking dime, that would be wonderful. If it's not fixable that way, and I need to fix it through a company or something like that, or if it's not fixable at all, if it's not fixable at all, well, I'm just gonna have to stop bothering. But even if it's fixable but costs money to fix, I would much rather save that money for a new one. This laptop has served me from 2011 to 2018, right? It served me specifically a little over a little over, how long? Yeah, a little over 6.5 years. 6 years and a half. A little over than that, like 1 month more. 6 years, 6.5 years plus 1 month, effectively. And it's just, it is what it is, you know. It had its time, it had its place, it was a great while I had it, but like, I need to kind of move on from it. Problem is, again, files of sentimental value are in it. I'll need to get those back. If I can get those back, shit, that's a big fucking tragedy. I've lost a lot of memories. I've got a lot of stuff from junior and senior high school in there. How the fuck am I gonna remember the good old times? You know, people tell me, well, they're still in your head, you know, you still have them as memories, right? Especially like people from the older generation, like my dad and stuff. But the thing is, right, no memory can ever be as accurate as a photograph or a video. Like, you know, a video and a photograph capture the fucking moment precisely. Memories fuzzy up things, you don't quite remember faces, you don't quite remember the place, you know, you don't quite remember the date or the time. You know, photographs and videos, you know, they've got that shit. You know, it's in there, in the video, in the photograph. Or if it's not in the video and photograph, it's in the fucking details. It's in that list of properties and details. You know, it tells you the time and the day and stuff. And I find that information very useful, honestly. So yeah, I want to recover those. Recovering the files is my main concern. The only way I wouldn't be able to recover the files would be if the damage was in the hard drive, but I don't think a damaged hard drive causes a dead screen. I think the screen is related to the motherboard from what I know. So yeah. The keyboard is also related to the motherboard and it's not related to the hard drive. So again, I don't see how the hard drive could have the issue. And I mean, I wasn't having any issues with my hard drive anyway. Like, I didn't have any files disappearing or any files getting corrupted out of nowhere or anything like that. So I don't see why the fuck they would just, like, suddenly damage on the hard drive would appear. But yeah, that's that. My absence from YouTube, I don't know how long it's gonna be. It's been a while since I've made a proper video. I've done 2 live streams looking over some past memories and stuff with my previous laptop, with my, you know, currently dead laptop. I did them. And I think the one I did, yeah, one of these like live streams, let me close that up, it's a little distracting, a little tab opened up. One of those live streams actually was done like either a day or two, either 1 day or like 2 days before I lost the laptop. So it's like, holy shit. I mean, I'm glad I did it when I did. I'm glad I didn't postpone it any further. I mean, because I do procrastinate sometimes, and it's just, you know, this is the reason why you shouldn't procrastinate. Shit like this will happen. Just so people don't say, well, why didn't you back anything up? You're kind of a fool for not doing that. I did back things up. But again, procrastination led to my backups being rather old, which is not much of an issue, but also led to my backups not being very numerous. I didn't back up a lot of things. I backed up only a few things. I should have backed up a lot more. I could have backed up that memory folder, you know, where I've got all those things from junior high school and senior high school, but I didn't fucking do that. For some fucking reason, though, I thought I did. I thought I had backed them up. And then to my fucking surprise, I hadn't. And like on my phone, on my current fucking phone, I've got like, let me check that. Let me check that shit. Gallery, okay, right. I've got photos and videos from the 23rd of February and onward. You know what's interesting? A few days before I lost that, a few days before I lost the laptop, I was like, well, I'll just like, you know, because I do this often, I take my phone and I try to kind of empty a few videos and photos, especially videos. Videos, I empty them, I empty the videos from my phone a lot because they take up a lot. They take up gigabytes of space, man. Like, you've got a 5-minute video taking up like 2 gigabytes. It's fucking insane. But yeah, like, I would kind of like throw them at my, you know, put them in my laptop on that memory folder, and then I would just like leave them there. And if I want to check them out, I'd just go to my laptop and check them out. I didn't need them on my phone. And thing is, a little before I lost the laptop, I was like, well, because before that point, the videos I had on this phone were, and videos and photos, were from New Year's Eve, like from New Year's celebrations, all the way to, you know, all the way to that moment, the pictures I had taken up until that moment. So like, I decided, okay, so I'm gonna like take those like New Year and like January and early February stuff out of my phone, and I'm gonna put it on my laptop, you know, for safekeeping, because I genuinely thought that was safekeeping back then. Fuck, I should have expected this, man. But yeah, I genuinely thought that was safekeeping, and then that was like only a few weeks before this happened. You know, if I hadn't done that, I could have had stuff from like the 1st of January of this year all the way to now. And I would have just been like, okay, at least I've got the whole fucking year on my phone. Now I've got most of the year. I've got like, I don't know, 90% of the year. But like, not all of it. No, not 90, 80%. Because some videos from like much later, from like March or, March or April or May, or like June, some of those videos and photos, I took them out of the phone and put them there too. If I didn't think if I didn't believe that like carrying them on my phone would be important, or I would want to watch them at any point, or there are some stuff there. I mean, sometimes I record like me just rumbling drunkenly after like a night of hard drinking. I just go back home and I just like record my thoughts on the day. And, those videos are always fucking cringeworthy. They're always just so fucking embarrassing. I don't want to show them to fucking anybody. Like, so I'm like, you know what? If somebody like takes my phone at some point and is like, okay, let's check out some stuff, they might come across them, and that'll be the most embarrassing fucking thing in the world. So I'm like, shit, okay, I'm putting them on. I'm putting them on my laptop then. But besides that shit, I've also... so here's a little timeline about the laptop, because it's had its issues for quite a while. Up until like 2016, it ran pretty well. Then in late 2016, something started happening. The T and Y keys started becoming unresponsive in like infrequent periods. Like sometimes they would be responsive, sometimes they wouldn't be. Sometimes, and the problem got worse as like 2016 came closer to its end. The problem got worse, and at some point in late 2016 they stopped working completely. Like this problem had been going on from early 2016, from like February of 2016 or so, with again this like uncommon ignored key presses. So like in particular the T and Y keys were affected in particular. And then a few other keys also were affected. But the thing is, like, I noticed it when at some point, I often press the T key often, because a lot of words use use T. So I would press it often, and like it wouldn't show up. So I'd press it again, again, again. At some point it did show up. But the thing is, I noticed as time went on, I had to press it more and more for it to appear. So suddenly I was like, well, something's up, right? One time I opened my laptop and like, they don't work. These keys don't work at all. Like the T key, the Y key, the tab key. The tab key made my life hell, because a few games that were particularly ports from like consoles, ports from consoles, usually you can't reconfigure every key. Like some keys are just set in stone. You can't reconfigure them or change them in any way, right? And often these games use the tab key, I don't know, as a key to show up the map, or to, I don't know, do other things, right? And I couldn't play these games to the fullest extent because I couldn't use that key anymore. So yeah, I lost some games from that. Two other keys that stopped working were two of the bracket keys. Then I also had like F3 stopped working, F9 I think, and F12. So, the F keys I didn't really care about, didn't really use them much. The brackets that I lost, I didn't use those brackets either. It's the brackets that are next to the letter P. Those two like bracket keys, those are the ones I lost. I didn't use them much, so I didn't mind. But the T and Y keys were very useful mostly. what I would do is I had a text file where I had copied and pasted the T and Y keys, and I would recopy them and whenever I needed to put them somewhere, I would paste them. At first it was rather tedious, but as I did it more and more, and I had to do it for months, it became more and more like normal for me as I did it more and more. So yeah, that's kind of that. The video has to kind of come at an end because it's like 15 minutes, because 15 minutes now. But yeah, the keyboard kind of started showing signs of stopping its work in 2016, then it stopped working in 2018 completely, and then I lost the screen. And that's kind of the timeline of problems with the laptop. See ya.